I landed a lucrative package abroad, specifically in the UK at one of the big four firms. How did I do it? Let's go. In this video, I'll be talking about how I got my job abroad at one of the big four firms, giving you insightful tips, what can you do better, when did I start applying, and how was with the help of an agency, and all that information. I do have to apologize, for the setting and also, the aesthetics and maybe, the audio. So as you can see, I'm not filming at my usual location, so the aesthetics might not be giving, but the information right here is valuable. Let's go. So just briefly, if you don't know me, I'm Getty, a fully qualified chartered accountant. I did my articles in South Africa at a small medium firm, BDO. That's where I did my articles. And the surprising thing is that I never had, or I never really envisioned myself, working abroad. That was always my childhood dream, but I just thought it's a bit far-fetched. Growing up, we all have, dreams of traveling and all that but I didn't think it would be possible for me. I just thought, man, it's far-fetched, even when, I started my articles. But around, towards the end of my, actually beginning of third year, I started to hear more about opportunities abroad. Some of the people who had just completed their articles and they are working abroad, and that really, it enlightened something in me, because these were the people who are in the same field as myself. Then I thought to myself, if it's possible for them, then what's stopping me? So that's when, I started shooting for the moon, reaching for the stars. So in my third year, that's when my goal was very clear. I wanted to work abroad, and specifically in the UK. So yeah, I just pondered on that. I started to watch, YouTube videos just to get an idea of what I will be getting myself into. And as you all know, the most common thing is the weather. It is very, cold in the UK. So, and also, the cost of living. So I started to search all about all those things. So around, I think around March, April, that's when then I started to, action that. I started to sort out my resume. And let me tell you, I actually never had a resume in my life. Or before then, no, or maybe I had one, but I never really sent it out. And you might wonder how did you get getting a training contract at a firm. So in university, I was a Tutuka student. So if you are a Tutuka student, you do know that you don't have to fret about the job application, all of that, because once you are done with your studies, you will be landed a job. So I didn't have to fret about, sorting out my resume and all that, just because I was covered. So when I completed my articles, I got that. Actually, let me not deviate. We'll talk about that in the next video. So this video is specifically about, my move to the UK and how I got there. So yeah, in my third year, around March, April, I started applying. I started to structure my resume, watching tutorials about how to do that and all that jazz. And the first application that I sent was to, BDO UK. And you might wonder why BDO UK, but it's quite obvious, right? So I thought to myself that let me just go with something that is familiar. So I'm already familiar, with the audit methodologies, so that might be easier for me. So this is why the first application that I sent out was with, BDO UK, because I was already working for, an SA brand, and I was very comfortable with the culture, with the methodology. The only thing that would then be different was just going to be, the environment. So that's why I went for that. So, and unfortunately, I wasn't successful, and I did learn from that. And I was quite despondent because I had an interview, with I think it was the UK director or whatever, and then I could already see things are not going well here. When you are giving your responses and they are giving you that look, oh, okay, but they are noting it down anyway. So I could already see kwenzakalani, plus I had never, went for an interview, as I've already explained earlier, so I really didn't know what to expect. And I think the question that I fumbled the most, that I can vaguely that I can vividly recall, it was when they asked me, why do you want to move to the UK? And guess what was my response? I said, oh Jesus Christ, I'm even so embarrassed to say this. Then I said to them, I want to move to the UK because it has always been, my childhood dream to move to the UK. So this is why I've applied for this role, so that I can get to live my dream, travel the world. Nothing related to, the role itself. And, so that was just very stupid of me. But at that time, I really had no idea what to say. And I just thought, I'm being honest. Because what do they say? They say that honesty is what? The right policy is what do they say? It's a good policy. I can never go wrong with that. So I thought, okay, let me just be honest. And let me tell you, that was actually my honest answer. That's why I wanted to be in the UK, because I wanted to travel and I wanted to live my childhood dream. That was the answer, but that's not how they see things. And yeah, judging from his reaction, things are going south. But yeah, nevertheless, I still had hope for it. Maybe, I will still get it. And then yeah, I was rejected, unfortunately. And then after I was rejected, then what did I do? Because I thought, okay, I might as well just kiss that dream goodbye, because if I'm rejected by the same firm that I'm working for, just in a different geographical area, then the other firms will also reject me. Then I gave up a bit on that dream. And then what did I do? I started applying for internal roles. So there was a role internally, still with BDO, because I wanted to comfort with BDO, and I really loved their methodology and the culture. Let me not say I love the methodology, let me just rather say I was comfortable. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay, I'm just gonna move this. I do apologize for that. So we'll just stick to this plain background. It's okay. No judgment, no judgment. I'm just giving you valuable information here. Okay, cool. And then there was a role internally that I applied for, and I was successful. Then I thought, oh, okay, I'm successful, that's it. But yeah, but then I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't satisfied because my goal was to be abroad. Then even after did I accept the offer? I think I took a while before accepting that offer. Then I started to, apply still. And then I applied, at one of the big four firms. And then in that process of my application, that's when I was approached by an agency. And then they were also promoting the same role that I had applied for. And I just thought to myself, this must be a sign. How convenient. Then I just informed them that actually I have already applied for this role, so how will you help me? And then they just said, no, that's okay, we'll just take over from here. And then what they did is they sent me, because you first need to accomplish certain steps before moving forward, going to the interview process and all of that. So I had already submitted my personal CV to the firm and all that. And then when they took over, they sent me the own resume cover. So what I did is I just replicated everything that I had. And what I love about the cover is that it was more detailed than my personal resume. So in their cover, you will need to just also state the clients that you were working on and what did you do, any achievements, all of that. Whereas in my CV, these are all the things that I had omitted. So that's another gem right here. So just make sure that when you are sending out your resume, you list all of those things. So that's a topic on its own. In the next video, I will dive more into that, how to structure your CV so that you do get that role. So we'll get into that. Okay, So that was that. I submitted my CV, and then yeah, I think there were some assessments that we needed to, I think there was an assessment that you needed to write prior to you being invited to, an interview. So okay, I passed that. So I was passing, all the steps. As I told you, there are milestones before getting to the actual interview. So I completed everything successfully, and then there I was invited for, an interview. I accepted the invitation, and then again, what I love with this agency, they were really hands-on. After you are invited for an interview, they will prep a call, everybody who is going for an interview, and they will just be prepping you. And remember, one of the questions that I said I fumbled with, BDO UK, why do you want to move to the UK? They also addressed that part. So these are professional responses. When you are asked why do you want to move to the UK, then some of the responses are because of the time zone. So even though the UK is far, the time zone is so convenient, because the UK, it's only an hour or 2 hours difference. It's only an hour or 2 hours difference. So that will also enable you to maintain your relationship with your family while you are abroad, which is something that I never even thought about. So it was that. And also the communication, English being the medium of communication there. So that as well, you need to also encapsulate that into your responses. For some countries whereby the medium of communication is not English, therefore you will be encountering a language barrier, a communication barrier. So mention that as well. So these are all professional responses. So there's more to this. I will make sure, I promise you, I will, because I don't want to keep this video too long. So this is why I will upload another video where I tell you how to answer those questions. Yeah, so we did get interview preparation and all that, and I went for an interview. So what I like about that interview is that it was just one interview, as opposed to some recruiters would want to do, employers would want to do multiple series of interviews. You go for this one round, to go back again, you go back again. That is really draining. It's draining. So it was just one interview, and this interview was split into two. So there was a technical part and there was a formal part, just assessing the behavior. So I went first for the technical part. Prior to that, we had an assignment that we needed to work on, a project. So you already have an idea what technical aspects they would be asking. So we had technical areas such as, I think goodwill was there, all those things. So it was more about a presentation. So we were given a case study and you needed to come up with solutions. So it's more like preparing for an exam and you having to present your solutions. So that was exactly that. I took it as an presentation, and also because I was a third-year trainee responsible for handling client meetings. So that wasn't really challenging because I'm used to handling meetings. So I just took it in that light. Okay, then I went for my interview, and the first technical one, and that was fine. And the next one, it was more of a conversation, because here they're assessing your behavior, how would you respond to things. And one of the questions that they asked me is, so now you'll be finding yourself in a different environment, how would you fit in, how would you make sure that you fit in with the culture and the people. Say you are in a social event, how would you go about that? Then I said to them, so if I'm at a social event, I would just pop up a conversation that is common. For instance, talk about a popular Netflix show. So that's how informal the second conversation was. I didn't feel like I'm being scrutinized here. No, it was very chilled. So I was very comfortable and giving genuine yet professional responses. And just like that, I got my role in the UK. Yeah. So after that, so when you have an agency, here's the thing, you don't communicate directly with the employer. So the agency will be the one communicating with you. So after that, they just called me just to ask me how did it go, and then I told them. And I think it took about like 2 to 3 weeks. You do need to be patient when you apply for these things, because it takes a while. And then after 3 weeks or so, that's when my agent called me and they told me that I was successful. They gave me the package. Am I comfortable with that package? Will I accept the offer? And of course I was fine. But let me tell you, I was a bit disappointed. You know why? Because there was an acquaintance that also was moving to the UK, and they got an offer at the London office, and their offer was high. So I expected something in that range. However, mine wasn't like that. Then I was happy, but I was a bit not disappointed. I'm disappointed. Okay, so I was very frank with my agent. I told them that but it's a bit lower than what I envisioned. Then she said, no, it's because of the area that you picked. Yeah, that's another thing that I forgot to mention. It's because of the area. So the salary, the package really depends on the area. Well, I knew that even in South Africa that's the case, but the difference is very steep between the London package and the office that I picked was Birmingham. The difference was very steep. It was really, really steep. So I just couldn't understand. But yeah, anyway, then I ended up, accepting that offer. And that's how I got my job in the UK. So tips here, when you are in a third year, if you are a psych student, when you are in your third year, you need to start applying. Don't wait until the end of your articles, because all these things, they really take long. So let me tell you another thing. So after I had applied, so it took about like 4 weeks to a month, and after the entire thing, having to accept the offer and all that, it still took about, let's say, 6 months or so, 5 months, because after that, okay, you've now accepted it, so now there is a contract, because otherwise there is no contract. So now there is a contract between you and the employer. So that's when you will start communicating with the employer, because now there is a contract in place, there is an agreement. Then this will be followed by the visa application. It will be followed by the English test, and all those things, they take a while. They really take a while. So the period, it takes about 5 months or so to be safe, maximum 6 months. So it still took longer for everything to be finalized. It still took longer. So this is what I'm saying to you. If you're a third year student, don't wait until the end. Start applying around May, because the entire thing really takes long, because they start recruiting earlier in the year only for next year roles. So you need to get going. So yeah, this is what I wanted to tell you. And also, just prepare for the interview. Prepare for the interview. Take it as an exam. Don't just go there blindly. You need to know why you are applying for this role. And if you're applying for a different area, why this area? Why this company? You need to know all of those things. You need to be ready for those questions. So like I said earlier on, my honest answer really didn't cut it. So all of those things, you need to make sure that you are prepared. So now I have gone over, and there's still more things that I want to discuss, from how to structure your CV and the questions, the common questions that you need to prepare for, in particular if you are moving to the UK, even if it's not in the CA field. So it's a lot of those things. So just make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything. So in the next video, we'll probably talk about how to structure your CV, and then how to, I think I'll combine those ones, how to respond professionally to those questions. What's your salary expectation, why this area, and we'll also do a video about deciding a location, because the UK is broad. There's London, there's Manchester, there's this, there, and some other places that you don't even, maybe you might not know about, because most people, they only know of London, and why I did not pick London. So cheers for now. I will see you in the next upload. Bye.